What up, brothers? It's Clip King returning for another new review tonight on the figure you see in front of you. And as you can see, it's Roadblock from G.I. Joe Retaliation. As you all know, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which is pretty much the main reason I bought the figure. I will just mention as well before I get into the proper review, everybody knows I pretty much try and concentrate on the new release figures, simply because when you've got a YouTube channel, the new release stock really does help your views. It's not the be all and end all, but is a massive part of getting decent viewing figures and also subscription if you are doing the new release stuff. But every now and again I like to sort of rotate the collection, move some old pieces out that I'm bored of, try and get the new stuff coming, but also go back and pick up some kind of review worthy figures, so things that I saw on release and I was like a little bit undecided myself, or somebody had swayed me one way or another. All were the case with this figure, but it just come to a point where I thought, well, I'm on top of the new game, let me just go back and have a look what there is. I saw this for a really good price and I thought, I'm getting it. I love The Rock, not massively buzzing on the film, but I think it's definitely worthwhile having a look at. And I'll also mention game time, of course, is in effect. So if you're a member of the 1/6 scale views and reviews group, you can have a guess at the total score of the figure and you'll get a mention at the end of this video. Right, moving on to the review proper. I've done enough talking. Do the source material. As I've pretty much alluded to, I didn't really buy this figure because of the license. I'm not a massive fan of G.I. Joe, franchise or film. It's pretty much just over the top American bullshit, pretty much like Fast and the Furious, Transformers, just shit like that. All explosions, no story, no character development. But I'll say, when I did watch this part, the first part was totally fucking terrible, if you ask me. The second part, I watched it pretty much because I knew I got Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow coming. I thought it's worthwhile watching it just so I've got a bit of something to say on the source material. Anyway, I watched it. I actually watched it on a Saturday at work. And I've got to say, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to do. I thought, it's probably a pretty weak 3. The action were okay. The sequence on the mountain were pretty good. Towards the end was okay. A little bit unbelievable, obviously. But like I said, that's not why I bought this figure. It's more to do with the character, or the actor playing Roadblock. So The Rock, basically. Back in the sort of mid to late 90s, going into early 2000s, I used to be a massive boxing fan. I'm still a boxing fan now, but then I was a massive boxing fan. I'd like pay for every fight on pay-per-view. Me and my mate would take it in turns and we'd like go to each other's house and watch it. And around this time, SmackDown won about 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. So when you're trying to have a few drinks and a curry or whatever, stay up into the middle at night to watch boxing, we'd always watch wrestling. And we pretty much watched it because at about 11 o'clock most weekends, or most Saturdays, The Rock would come on and do like a 5 to 10 minute segue, and it was just funny as fuck. Every week, he'd use the same material over and over again, but he always kept it fresh. The things he said, you could pretty much memorise and take them back to work on the Monday morning and use them as insults to put your mates down. And I just loved it. I even, and I'll admit this, although at that time I was like, what would I have been, mid-20s? I actually went, and when I used to buy things on video, I actually bought 2 volumes of The Best of The Rock, and I forget what they're called, and I've also got The Rock's autobiography, and it's one of the funniest books I've ever read. So I do like The Rock. Some of his films or some of his choices in the roles he takes are a little bit suspect, but as a person, he's just one of them blokes you'd like to go and have a fucking few pints with. You won't want to go to the gym with him, because he's a fucking beast. But you go and have a few pints and a good fucking chat, have a bit of a slanging match, it'd just be funny as fuck. Like I said, that's mainly the reason I've given the source material a 4 out of 5. Most of you are probably thinking 4 out of 5 for G.I. Joe. If it were on the film, I'd have given it a 2, because I actually started watching it again overnight because I knew I'd got this figure coming, and I turned it off about halfway through. It bored me. So like I said, originally I'd probably give it a 3. Next time I give it a 2. But like I say, I'm not only scoring it on G.I. Joe, I'm scoring it on the fact that it's probably, in fact I would say it's definitely the best Rock figure out there. So that is why I've given the source material a 4 out of 5. Moving on to packaging, I'm going to try and do this pretty quick because there's not a lot to see. The artwork is pretty much on the front cover. as you see, nice shot of Roadblock. The scene where he's collected the dog tags, as you see in his hand. The chrome graphics, or wording on the front should I say, G.I. Joe, Retaliation, and then just a shot of the actor. It's not a shot of the figure, as you can see. Looking down here, you've got the Paramount and the Hasbro logo, obviously the toy manufacturer, and then moving across here, the Movie Masterpiece and the Hot Toys logo. I do like the artwork, the quality is pretty good. It is just a slipcover, so I'm only going to give it a 3 out of 5. Rolling on to likeness, I'm going to talk about something now which might sound like I'm bigging myself up. It's not the case, but it's just a fact. Most other reviewers will know it, and reviewers of a particular stature will definitely know it. You get asked your opinion on things, sometimes things you've never had, sometimes things you've never seen. Just constantly, what figure's better? What should I buy? What do you think this head sculpt's like? What do you think to this? What do you think to that? Should I buy this? Should I buy that? Just random questions that you can't always answer, but you're sort of invited to give your opinion on it. I've had that probably now for about 3 years. But that don't go to say that I don't also listen to other people's opinions and read critiques and reviews that others make. And the reason I tell you this is because sometimes, and I'd probably do it myself, I'll mislead people in reviews, or not mislead them, but I'll tell them my opinion. Now, my opinion might not count for their opinion, but also I'll listen to their opinions and then sometimes think, oh, well, if they're saying it, it must be right. But I've always tried to say, if there's a figure that comes out and it's getting nitpicked to fuck, try and see it yourself. If it's within your price range, try and see it, particularly if it's a license you really want, and then make your own judgment. Now, that is the case with this figure. When it got released, and probably before it got released, the head sculpt caught a lot of heat. The things that I heard said about it were, it looked more like Yul Brynner than The Rock. Now, my thoughts on that were always, that's a little bit far-fetched. Yul Brynner, I can't remember ever looking like this, apart from the bald head. Probably there's some scenes in The King and I when he's got the little goatee on as well. Maybe that were the connection. People said the sculpt looked too old. Now, you'll notice in the background, I've left the box, and I don't normally when I get onto likeness. Now, if we look at Rock on here, Rock, I think now is about 43. So in this film, let's say we're 40. And even though he's fit as fuck, and he goes to gym, and he works out, and he's toned, and he's ripped, without plastic surgery, you can't fucking defy age. I mean, I used to be more fucking beautiful than I am now, believe it or not. But age takes its toll. So you get these deep set lines here in your face called jowls. You get sort of the darkened marks around your eyes. Your crow's feet come. Now, people Botox to fuck to get rid of that. I would say The Rock, at this stage, doesn't. And definitely not on this shot. You can see as his face is full. I've noticed this myself. I'll be having a wash in the morning, or I'm having a shave, and I rinse my face. I have a glance at the mirror, and my face is still looking down, but my eyes are looking up. And you think, that's all definition gone out of my cheekbones, my jawline, and everything. My face has got that loose and saggy that it does what Rock's is doing here. So as we move back down to sculpt, you'll see that he's sort of got brow lines. He's got crow's feet, the jowl lines going down the side of his beard. Let's go down to the other side and show you. If we look here, you can see these lines sort of down here, down this side. Just trying to give you a really good look. Another thing they said is acorn-headed. Now, I think by that they mean that the centre of the head is the wrong shape. Again, I defy this because I looked for this exact feature in the film of a day, and his head is pretty much bang on accurate, to my eye anyway. Like I say, it does have that sort of raised section down the middle of his head. His head's not perfectly round, so there, it's like got a raised, and people say acorn-headed. I think it's accurate, I've got to be honest. When you look at his lips, he's got a slight overbite or a kind of appearance where his teeth are subtly pushing his top lip out. I think they've captured that really well. I think the goatee that he sometimes has, I think they've caught that really well. The only nitpick that I do agree with is, from some angles, he's sort of got a seam that goes up over the top middle of his head, which sometimes, if he's turned sideways, so for the sake of it, he's turning around, like, if the light catches it, there's sort of a seam that goes over his head. That's obviously where it's come out of the cast. So I do agree with that nitpick. All the others, on pictures, I could sort of sympathise with and kind of agree with. Apart from the Yul Brynner, I think that were going way too far. When I took it out of the box, I thought, what I expected to think, if I'm honest, that sculpt is better than I thought. And I'll go further. I took some photos of this other day and I positioned it. I'll show you where I positioned it, because then you'll get an idea of the lighting I got. I positioned it where Alex Murphy is now, which is not the most lit area. You're pretty much only getting light from this side. I put a photo on of The Rock, and I looked back at that photo once it were on Facebook, and it looked as realistic as any other figure in this collection, and that is a fact. So, what I'm basically saying is, not all pictures do justice to these sculpts. I've got to say, and I think I'm pretty neutral when it comes to scoring. I won't tell you not that we're bullshit. I think that Rock is pretty much dead on right to this film. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a pretty easy 5 out of 5. I will just say before I move on as well and change the position, that pose is pretty fucking awesome. Very, very natural. Full extension on arm. He's gone Rick Grimes. I'm going to call that Rick Grimes. Arm full extended and gun out. Fucking beautiful. Well done, Uncle Rigster. Well done, pal. Rolling on to his outfit. Now, I will start off by saying, all in all, his outfit is awesome. Pretty accurate and very functional. The little bit of assembly you have to do when you first get the figure is quite enjoyable and not annoying in any way. You have to sort of attach the holster section on each leg. His gun pretty much comes in pieces, and I will show all that when it gets to the accessories. You have to put the sort of baton on his back, which again is pretty easy to do. You could sort of tighten his combat trousers and maybe tuck them inside his boot. See, I've got a Velcro bottom. I think the shape of the tactical vest, I think, doesn't hinder the articulation, which I'll cover in the next section. And it does look great in every way, really. Got 3 tiny little nitpicks, which combined will knock a point off. And this is what it is. The one that sort of pisses me off the most is the sleeve length. Now, again, I've left the box in the background simply because it's a good source to use to show any accuracy or anything that they've done wrong. If you look at the sleeve length on both arms, it's pretty much down to the inside of his elbow. Where if you look here, I think they made them a little bit shorter so you can see the tattoo work underneath. So if I show you that arm and also that arm, you can see the Brahma bull. It is pretty much nipped up, and that is pulled down pretty much as far as it will come. It's nowhere near long enough. Now, you know what I'm going to say. If it were longer or down to the elbow, you could disguise some of these messy joints. You knew at some point I would come to these joints. Now, I'll cover them more in the articulation, but if the shirt would have been a little bit stretchier, that if you had him posed with his arms down by his side, the shirt would pull down and sort of cover a bit of that up, then, I don't know, it would eradicate one of the main problems with this figure, just by having longer sleeves. I'll show you. But I'll tell you my thoughts, like I say, on the elbow joint when I get round to it. So that is one thing. The next thing, if we look at the picture again, this is early in the film, and then we look here. The armour plated sections on his chest, way too clean. They're like fresh out of factory clean. As you can see, there's no battle damage as such. You do have the letter R sort of on the right pec. but no battle damage. The rivets and everything do look good. There is some of them fake buttons here, and you do get some replacements. But like I say, there's not that many of them, so they're not annoying. The buckles do look good and everything. And like I say, the knife sheath, which is there, one here, that all pulls out, all works nicely, does look accurate. And that the other one, outfit-wise, is the glove. It's a really hard sculpt, and because of the depth between the end of the glove and where the wrist peg fits in, it pretty much kills the articulation in the wrist. So be able to get a tilt or pivot on the wrist is hard because of the gloves. Other things I do like are the watch and the sort of sat-nav device that's strapped around his arm, as you can see. These are the handles of his pistols, which just sit into these. So he's got one there and one there. I'll just show you how it works. They just pretty much just catch. They just sit in there, and that is the handle to, you can line his pistol into it, or you can put one of the blades into it, or the baton, and it makes like a build your own weapon kind of thing. Like I said, I will show that a bit later in the review. So that is a nice touch as well. The harnesses on the upper part of his trouser do look nice, do look accurate, as you can see, but do hinder the articulation a little bit. Moving down, you have the knee pads, which don't really hinder the knee movement. And then moving down to the military style boot, which is really well sculpted and very, very good scale. You compare it to a smaller size figure, and it does look in scale, feet wise and everything. So yeah, so I'll just show you the back. You see he's got the skull and crossbones on his armour, so the baton attached. All the strapping looks nice. Yeah, nice piece. I said the inside of the collar is does have a zip if you wanted to zip it right up, but I find by having it zipped down a bit, you can pull the sleeves a tiny bit further down his arm, so bear that in mind. Also worth a mention, they do also include the stretchy black Under Armour style t-shirt that he wears in a lot of the film as well, so that is an option. I will be changing the figure later in the review, but it won't be into that, it'll be into something completely different. So on the outfit, to give it a score, like I said, the combined 3 little nitpicks, I'm only going to knock 1 point off and give the outfit a 4 out of 5. Moving on to articulation. As we move up, you see I've got him in a running pose, holding the rifle two-handed, like so. Now, in a minute I will show the scale, because I'll stand it against a Terminator figure, which uses the, is it TTM 20 body, the really big muscular body, because a lot of people have said it's undersized, it's too puny looking. Now, I think Rock is massive in some films, and in this he was massive. I think he's been bigger in other films, maybe Hercules, not that I watched that, but I saw pictures from it. Some of the other roles he's done, he is huge. Is he bigger than young Arnie? I would say comparable, but I wouldn't say bigger. Maybe taller. And I know in his wrestling profile it says 6'5" and blah blah blah. I think that's bullshit. I don't think he's 6'5", but like I say, I don't know if he's much under. So yeah, I would say we're taller than Arnie, but not much more muscular. There's not a great deal in it, so we'll see how that scale looks compared to a Terminator in a minute. Now, for that scale and using the body it's used, I think the balance is right, and by that I've said before, when Bane came with the single bend elbow and couldn't do his signature pose, I kicked off about it. Now, I wouldn't have thought there'd have been much purpose putting a twin-handed weapon in this set, so this rifle, and only have a single bend elbow, because I don't think he would have held it right. It wouldn't have looked natural, it wouldn't have looked tight enough, and that's my thoughts. But the exchanges, you get the messy elbow joint, which we've seen earlier in the review. It does look obvious in some poses, but if somebody said to me, you can either have the single bend elbow or a rubber arm that won't articulate as good, or you can have it as it is. I would have picked as it is, which might surprise a lot of you. I think, like I said, a longer sleeve on the shirt would have covered it up. A set of arm pads, although it wouldn't have been accurate, I think would have covered it up, and it is an option to do. But, and believe this, once it's displayed in your collection, very much like the Hulk, after a while you don't see the articulation points no more. You know they're there, obviously, but you stop seeing them. You look at the plus points of the figure. It's like, it's easy to move away from. And I will say another thing about the arms. If you look at it, the skin texture and the paintwork on the arms and the tattoo, so everything but everything apart from the arm joint, everything is really well done. The pores in the skin, the sort of veins, the feathers, fucking Hodge twins for you. The feathering effect of the muscle on the forearm, the definition on the arm, the tattoo work, everything else is really good. Like I say, it's just the fact it's a double bend elbow, it gives the messy hinge. But yeah. Top of the legs is slightly hindered by the strap work, although the legs do move smoothly and do hold a pose really well. The knees are double bend and do work really well. The boots are not that high, so the ankle articulation is also pretty good. The wrist articulation is hindered due to the glove sculpt. The neck only moves at the upper neck because the head sits on a ball joint. They had to do that because of the muscle body going up into the head sculpt. I will say the sort of transfer from the neck to the head as well is not really too obvious, and it normally is on a bald figure because there's no hairline to disguise it. I don't know if I would display it topless. And the point I'm making there is the body is not aesthetically perfect, but it moves really, really well. And I've got to say, I'm liking that pose, and it's holding it really well on the new Goblin stand. It feels very balanced, it feels very smooth, yet stiff, or holds the pose really well, so it is a really good body. On the articulation, I can't get the perfect score because it's not perfect in a couple of places, but it's better than I thought it was going to be. So for that reason, I am going to give the body, or the articulation, a 4 out of 5. Before I roll on, we'll just cut into the scene and pose him side by side with the Terminator. Now I've got to say, I've just set this shot up and I'm a little bit surprised with what I've found, because I've not stood them next to each other off the stand before, and this is what I've just found out. The Rock is well taller, as you can see. I think the shoulder width is pretty accurate. I'm going to try him with another Terminator, because I don't know if my Terminator's got short ankle joints in. I'm not sure. I've swapped it that many fucking times with Bane, I can't remember. But as you can see, the Rock is taller, and width wise, to say Rock's only wearing a t-shirt and Terminator's wearing a leather jacket, the Rock looks beefy enough to me. Let's try another figure. Again, as you see, taller than this version also. Some people said this version was too small, and I think if you compare it to the Terminator 2, in real life it was bigger in one, obviously, so maybe that were right, although I think they all use the same body, so I can't understand it. But as you can see, Rock is clearly bigger again. Shoulder width and height, I would say. So, I'm trying with one more figure. The newest version of Captain America, I would say in real life, Rock is obviously bigger, and I would say figure wise is a tiny bit bigger, and Cap's wearing quite thick tread on his boots. I don't think the Rock scale's far off, I've got to be honest. Rolling on to extras, and I'll start off by saying when you first open the box it looks like he's got about 1,000 accessories, and that is the case, but when you start putting things onto his vest and into the holster and on his arms and down his back, you realise that you've not got many extra things that are actually going into my Ziploc bag, which are the spare accessories. He does look awesome when it's all put on him and he's fully armed up, and then everything he gets is fun to sort of fiddle around with, and I'll explain that as we look at him. But anyway, let's roll down him. As we say, as we move down, the belt does hold the handles for his pistols. In fact, they're the handles for most of his weapons, and I'll explain that in a minute. Moving to the side, you see he has the sat-nav device or the tracking device, whatever it is, the watch. Moving down, you have to put the holsters on and they just slide down into a clip, work really nicely. And then the the clip section or the foregrip of his gun sits in those, and again I'll explain that in a minute. Same on both sides. Moving down, just a generic stand with the G.I. Joe logo and the Roadblock nameplate. In the background, see the instructions, tells you how to put the tactical vest on and off, and also other things about moving his head and so on and so forth, how the accessories all work. Moving forward, we have his Under Armour t-shirt, which is really nicely done, but I don't think I'll be displaying it. Moving across here, we have wrist pegs, replacement buttons, a set of fist, a pair of relax stands, and a pair of trigger hands, so they're nice. Moving down, the largest of all his accessories is the rifle, machine gun, whatever you want to call it. It does have moving parts, as you can see. The tripod swings down and opens up. There is a spring-loaded catch on the other side. The sight section and the top of the gun opens up, so you can put the bullet belt through. And then, as you see, the stock down at the back. You have the box with the bullet belt coming out, which attaches to the gun and does look really nice. I'm not showing it in the review. Moving across here, you have the one pistol that comes sort of ready built. Is a standard pistol, then you can push the silencer in, and then this sort of foregrip section just slides onto the pistol and makes a nice looking pistol as it were displayed in the first pose I did. And then this is where it gets complex. This is the baton holder, which goes down the centre of his back, just clips onto the little strap with that hook. Inside that you would hold the baton. Note that it's got a little catch here. Then as we move up, you see he's got sort of two T-blades. Notice the catch on that. And then as you move across, we've got sort of a real live knife blade. And then if we look down here, these four sections here. What it is, this is the handle, and then obviously his fingers would go through the handle. That pushes into that to make that style of pistol. Not only does that happen, which I'll display now, as you see, it's now become a complete pistol that you can hold, and you can have two of those if you like. But also the handle here is used to hold the baton and the blades, which I'll demonstrate now. So as you see, this one he has the handheld baton with sort of brass knuckle section, and this one again the handle with a brass knuckle section with the T-bar knife up front and then the blade at the top. So like I said, the handle does work for all the blades, and it is, I don't know, it's only a little thing, but it's quite fun to do because it's not just a piece of plastic to display. You can sort of have a fiddle around and alter up your poses, so I do like that. To score it up on the extras, I really like the stuff it's brought, and I will say everything he's got, there is an hand that will hold it correctly, so I do like that about it. The lack of another portrait or a really good diorama base stops me from giving it top marks, but I would be happy to give it a 4 out of 5. Rolling on to value, and at the start of the review, like I explained, I always keep my eye on figures. New release stuff, I have a roundabout price, what I feel it's worth. Stuff that's just come into stock and is selling through. Things that have been out for a while, the community prices. I try to keep a check on everything just to see what certain figures are doing, going up or down or holding the price or whatever. Recently I've saw that this were going for pretty low. And I'm glad, because I managed to pick this awesome figure up for less than £100 shipped to my house, and it were brand spank, still got plastic on, not even had the plastic tags cut on the top or bottom of the box. So I'm buzzing for that. That is a bargain of all bargains, because it turned out to be an awesome figure all round, and that's why it's going to get a really good score. To be able to get any Hot Toys figure nowadays, sometimes you can drop on, somebody's pre-ordered something, they don't want it no more, it's been delayed or whatever, they don't want to pick it up, and I don't know, it's happened to me a few times. People said, oh, I've got so-and-so coming but I don't want it now, I know you haven't reviewed it, would you want to take me pre-order? That's how I got the Rick Grimes figure. So it has happened to me in the past. This one, like I said, I saw it was floating around and I thought, I'm swooping down. So like I said, that I've got to give it, the stuff it brings and how good it is, I've got to give it a 5 out of 5 for value. I think most people would be happy to pick any figure up for less than £100 shipped nowadays, and to end up getting one that's a nice surprise and is better than you thought it were going to be, you're just buzzing to get it. So like I said, on the value, pretty easy, 5 out of 5. Finally, The Rock has come back to Miami. Just fucking about. So, I've got him changed though. We've got to show you tats. Look at his tribal tats. Look at his Brahma bull. Looking fucking beautiful. He's rocking some Gangsters Kingdom shades. He's rocking some Jordan. Fucking got some Jordan 11s. Beautiful. Right. Figure got... Oh, before I go on, I just want to tell you, like I said, I got this at a good price. Wyman, I think, has still got a few of these left. I'm not sure what price we're going at site, but if you are interested in this figure, Wyman's got them, and Matt at Toy HQ has also got them on sale, and he's also got like Mandarin and Crow and figures like that. So check out 16 Bros and Toy HQ if you're trying to pick this figure up. I think they both got them at a really good price. Just thought I'd mention that because I saw them while I was looking around for this one. So let's... the total score was 29. I hope I can do this faster than I did it on the Robocop one. Here we go. 1/6 scale views and reviews. Uncle Rickster's own group. Game time. Soap opera avoidance. That's what Monday Night is. Fucking soap opera central, and I can't be dealing with it. Correctly guess the total score for a mention. Let's have a look. Got the initial polls going on. And we're looking for 29s. Here we go, straight away. Ryan Smith seems to get right every time with John Matrix. He's got it right again, look. Fucking hell, it took me 2 hours to do this one. I'm getting slower as I get older. I'm taking more text and using more battery power. Ryan Smith, he's got it right. Clever, smart biatch. As we go down, look out for your names. I should say that at the start, really. But I don't. I roll on first. Here we go. He's got it. Very cheap right now. 29. He got it pretty. He's done well, old Ariel Garcia. Well done, brother. Well done. Sit down with your pen and paper and worked it all out for me. I ought to be asking you scores. I smell a 25. You're incorrect, my friend. Let's have a little scratch. Roller on. Looking for 29s. Here we go. Mark Hawkins. What's he got? Despicable Me icon. Uncle Rick, I'm every fucker's uncle. Somebody's been busy. 29, Uncle Rick. Whoa, who's this slag? Fucking hell. He's got a picture of our lass and sent it in to me. Taking piss, aren't you? Coco. Fucking, I'll give Coco. I'll give fucking baby gravy. All over a foss. You got score wrong though, buddy. You ain't putting pictures like that up. You got fucking score all wrong. Whoa. Slow down. Derrick Hammond. Here we go. 29. I keep saying 29 until it's right. Up the Gunners. Right, you can fuck off for that. Because I don't like fucking Gunners. And I don't like Gunners fans. You silly southern bastard, you. Liverpool here, pal. You've come to the wrong channel. No, I'm only fucking about. Derrick Hammond. There you go. Get that fucking thumbnail changed, you fucking embarrassment. Keep rolling. I've said enough. 29s. We're looking for 29s. Close. Close. How many comments we got tonight? About fucking 900, I'm thinking. I don't know. Let's keep rolling. Look at all these and all the fucking nosh up again. Here we go. Jamie Smith. Think he got it right on last and all. Got 29. Got it bang on. I can't make his thumbnail out. Okay, he's just having a little sip. A little glass of orange juice, I think. He's having a little sip. Keep his whistle wet. Beautiful. 29s. Come on. Where are they? There's got to be some more about... You know, it's... I'm not reading that. It's dramatic. Let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Can you see your names? Are you happy? Are you happy that you've appeared in videos again? You can't wait for me to throw this fucker up, can you? Here we go. Jason Montemayor. Jason Montemayor. What the fucking hell's that thumbnail about? Can't even work it out. He's got some kind of mask on. He's playing Carlos with his son. He is sat there with his mask on. But he's got score 8 anyway. He's got 29. Well done, pal. Here we go. Daniel Ferris. Here we go. Oh, you guys miss this women all. They look like they're at some kind of function. Sat there looking all smart. Got all smiles. They probably fucking hate each other in real life. But sat there smiling. Keeping up public appearances. I know the score. Think I've never lived. Anyway, let's roll on. Let's keep rolling. Here we go. Guy Phillips. What's that? Oh, he's only gone and put his kid a Pete Doherty hat on and some shades. You don't want him to turn out wrong. Take that hat off him. You're damaging him. You don't want him wearing an hat like that. Ooh. Unless he thinks he's all hers. In that case, my fucking daughters will probably fancy him. It's all they fucking talk about. Anyway, roll on. Here we go. Pete Cass. Look at him. He's looking fucking happy with saying that, lad. Do you know what he looks like? Imagine this, yeah? He looks like he's sat in a van or in his car or something. He's just leaning to one side to let a massive fart go. He's laughing about it. I know what that thumbnail represents. I've done it myself, my friend. Here we go. David Rushy Rushford. There we go. My top reviewing friend. You're fucking not wrong, my friend. But kissing ass will not fucking win you a shout out. You're lucky you've guessed score 8. Probably what you said though. Clever lad he is. Clever lad. Here we go. And I will say, I think he's Scottish. And I know what you're thinking. How's he getting this rate? Scottish are all alcoholics. Well, you're wrong. They're not only alcoholics. Some of them are fucking druggies and all. Fucking awesome. Thank you, Jimmy Carr. I'll steal your material till the day I die. Fuck off, phone. Here we go. Keep rolling. Looking for 29s. 29s. Oh, I like what he said, but he's got score wrong. Can't mention him. Can't go against my own rules. We're still an hour ago. We're still reading comments from an hour ago. Jesus. Keep rolling. Another one. Basher Pratt. I don't think that's his real name. Nobody's called Basher. What the fuck is he doing? Looks like he's fucking chilling out in front of a fucking hippo or something. He's loving life anyway, whatever he's doing. I can't make it out. But he's got 29. Well done, Basher. Basher Pratt. Well done. Keep rolling. Fucking who's this jabroni? Fucking England, this pal. Shouting for fucking Juve. Not cutting no ice here, buddy. Keep going. Let's keep going. I can't scroll too fast because it starts clicking on people's names. I'm looking for 29s. Oh, we're nearly done. I feel that we're nearly done. We're getting close. I can sense it. I can sense it. Wrong. And this is what... Whoa! Fuck off, phone. This is what I've just put up. The great one says, no, you damn roll, jabroni. This is over. If you smell what Uncle Clipper is cooking. Look at what I've done to me roadblock figure. He's looking fucking fresh, isn't he? Clean pose. Alistair knows, Wolf Blood. He knows the score. I think he's a rock fan and all that, lad. Sure, I've spoke wrestling with him before. Don't know what he's doing, don't know what he's doing. Letting these little stragglers have a go. They've got it all wrong. I shouldn't have let them bother. They were late. They're late to party and they've gone done fucked up. But I'm loving that pose because it's that one there, look. Anyway, boys, I hope you've enjoyed this review. But for now, this is me and The Rock, and we are out of here.